Various reports are stating that Saudi clubs want Heung-Min Son this coming summer, and Chairman Daniel Levy could sell him if a good price comes in to help Spurs reinvest this summer, getting ready for Champions League football next season. Reports in Spain are stating that Johnny Cardoso has turned Spurs down. He now wants to join Atletico Madrid. Reports are stating that Spurs are currently interested in Fikayo Tomori and Xavi Simons. Romero has come out and said, "I'm happy at the football club." Bergvall has thanked the fans. Tell has hinted that he wants to stay at Spurs for next season. Ange Postecoglou has said, "Champions of Europe, let that sink in." And Destiny Udogie, talking about the Super Cup final on the 13th of August, he said, "Let's bring home another trophy." Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all keeping well. My name is Chris Cowlin, and this is another episode of Tottenham News, where I'll be going through all of the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please hit the follow button and leave a review if you can. So let's start with a couple of quotes from a couple of Tottenham Hotspur players. Christian Romero on being at Tottenham. He said, "I'm happy. They make me feel like I am an important player there. I'm going to give my best until the last day that I am there." Lucas Bergvall wrote the following on Instagram. "I want to say thank you for all of your support in my first season here, for treating me as one of your own from the start, and to all of the staff and my teammates for everything they have done to make me feel at home here. It's been a year of learning and adapting. It's not always been easy for us, but we know that we will be better for next season, and we kept believing that we could do something special. Finishing my first season with 3 awards, and especially the Europa League trophy, I feel grateful. We will keep building." Now, a report has just been published by Sport in Spain, and they are stating that Johnny Cardoso has turned Spurs down and he will not join Tottenham Hotspur Football Club this coming summer, as he wants to join Spanish side Real Madrid. ESPN have stated that Brian Hill and Manor Solomon will now return to Tottenham after their respective loans. They will both look to find new clubs this coming summer. ESPN have also stated that Spurs hold interest in RB Leipzig star Xavi Simons, and ESPN have also stated that Spurs are currently talking to Rodrigo Bentancur about a new deal. And the Daily Mail have just stated that Spurs are again interested in AC Milan defender Fikayo Tomori, a player that played for the Italian club 35 times last season in all competitions. Now, Tottenham Hotspur boss Ange Postecoglou, currently on holiday, has come out and said, "Europa League winners, champions of Europe, let that sink in." It sounds pretty incredible, doesn't it? Matisse Tell on winning the Europa League with Tottenham Hotspur, he has come out and said, "This story was incredible for the club, the fans. I'm very happy. We did it and we deserve it. I'm playing football and playing to win trophies. So I believe in this team, this club, and that is why we did it. This is a big family with the fans, with everyone. It is not just a club, it's everything for us. We have to keep going and win again." Spurs star Destiny Udogie has been asked about winning the Europa League with Spurs. He said, "It's been amazing. Winning the Europa League is a big achievement. Everything was amazing. The day that we came back to London, it was amazing. We knew that we had done something big. So honestly, it was amazing. Honestly, I had chills seeing all of the fans so happy. It was beautiful. Sometimes you have to just live in the moment." Destiny Udogie was also asked about the Super Cup final on the 13th of August. And he said, "I cannot wait. Let's bring another trophy home." Now, it was announced earlier today that Yves Bissouma is in the running for the Premier League's Oracle's Most Powerful Goal Award, an award to recognise the goal which carried the fastest average speed from the ball being struck to crossing the goal line. Yves' maiden strike for the club is in the final shortlist of 10 goals competing for the honour. Coming in our first home game of the campaign, a 4-0 win against Everton. The Mali international opened his account for the club with an effort against the Toffees, finding the target in the 14th minute at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium back in August. Dejan Kulusevski cleverly cut the ball back to the edge of the area where the midfielder was primed to thrash the ball home in off the bar. Now, as mentioned in a previous episode, Spurs women's star Ella Morris has suffered an ACL injury. She has taken to social media to send a message out to the fans. She said, "From the highest of highs to the lowest lows, devastated, doesn't even come close. So grateful for the incredible people around me. ACL round 2, let's go." Now, a little bit more Spurs women news. Martha Thomas has signed a new contract with the club that will run until June 2028. Having joined us from Manchester United in September 2023, the forward made an instant impact in our colours with a goal on her debut in the 23-24 Barclays Women's Super League season opener against Chelsea, scoring 10 goals in all competitions in her maiden campaign for us. She was at the heart of some memorable moments in the campaign, netting that historic goal against Arsenal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium to clinch our first ever WSL win over the Gunners. Martha then helped us create history in the FA Cup during the 23-24 campaign by heading home the winner in the semi-final tie against Leicester City in N17 with a goal deep in extra time, taking us to the final for the first time in May 2024. A regular in our attacking line, the Scotland international has made 53 appearances for us across all competitions to date, scoring 11 goals in total, with 7 of those coming in the WSL. Now, for a couple of stories about Tottenham Hotspur captain Heung-Min Son. Now, the Sun newspaper and the Daily Mail, and I'm going to go through the Daily Mail article now. Tottenham are open to letting star leave to Saudi Arabia this summer if massive offer is made. Tottenham could be willing to let one of their key stars depart this summer, captain Heung-Min Son. If the player is sold, then funds could be used to reinvest into the squad. Now, the report from the Daily Mail states that Spurs are reportedly willing to let one of their stars leave for Saudi Arabia this summer if a massive offer is made. After winning the Europa League to end the club's 17-year wait for a trophy, Tottenham will be determined to add to their squad. There remains uncertainty regarding the future of manager Ange Postecoglou. The report then states, despite their heroics in the Europa League, Spurs finished in 17th place in the Premier League. Selling a key player, could provide Tottenham with funds to reinvest into the squad. The player has produced so many hugely impressive displays for Tottenham, but could now be set to depart. And as reported by the Sun newspaper, Heung-Min Son could be allowed to leave Tottenham for Saudi Arabia. The club captain, Son, has been at Tottenham for almost a decade and has made 454 appearances while he has scored 173 goals. Son, 32, has 1 year remaining on his current contract at Tottenham. There is interest in Son from the Saudi Pro League, with the South Korea international seen as an ideal replacement for Cristiano Ronaldo at Al Nassr. The report then states, with Mohamed Salah committing his future to Liverpool by signing a new deal, the Saudi Pro League have now turned their attention to Tottenham Hotspur captain Heung-Min Son. It could be a summer of significant change for Tottenham as Chairman Daniel Levy plans an overhaul of the squad. Son still contributed with 7 Premier League goals this season, but his lengthy spell at the club could now be coming to an end. During Tottenham's Europa League trophy parade last weekend, Postecoglou hinted that he will remain in charge. Now, my thoughts on everything in this episode. Let's start by talking about Ange Postecoglou's comment there. Champions of Europe, let that sink in. I tell you what, I've had the week of my life, and I haven't stopped singing the Johnson song. I haven't stopped singing any songs, actually. It has been absolutely brilliant, and I'm on cloud 9 right now, and I don't want this feeling to end. I want to win a trophy every single year, and I want to feel like this every single year. I want to feel like it every week, but that's not possible. But I want to certainly feel like it every year, and I want this success at the football club because I've felt on top of the world, as I'm sure a lot of you, it should be every single one of you, feeling like me as well. after winning a trophy. It's been absolutely brilliant. Everyone's smiling. Everyone's very, very happy. Everyone, it's been an emotional time. It's been such a long time, but it's felt really, really good. And, I love that quote, champions of Europe, let that sink in. It's going to be a good summer. But, of course, we've now got to think about next season, Champions League football. The Premier League certainly needs to be a lot better. And we need to have, really good investment into the summer transfer window, which, opens in 3 days' time. So, big business needs to be done. Really decent players need to come in. Experienced players need to come in as well. And, we need to start building this squad for playing Champions League football and building this squad to be finishing, back in the top four where Spurs belong, not in the bottom four where, of course, we did finish fourth from bottom. So there is a lot to do. Johnny Cardoso has apparently turned Spurs down. He doesn't want to join Spurs. He wants to go and join Atletico Madrid. Fair enough. If players want to go elsewhere, they're obviously not players for us. And, we want every single player to come into the football club and, want to be here, want to put on that shirt and want to be successful. And, so if he wants to join somewhere else, no problem at all. Now, the transfer rumours today, they're stating, or various media outlets are stating, that Spurs interested in Xavi Simons. I think this one's come from ESPN. Lots of reports out in Italy stating that we're interested in centre-back Fikayo Tomori. I do feel like... we need to strengthen in all areas. Spurs do need to have a overhaul. Although we've been successful in the Europa League, this transfer window, as all transfer windows, are very, very important, to be preparing for a new season, particularly in the Champions League, because those Champions League games, are going to be extremely tough. They're going to be a lot tougher than the Europa League games. We're going to have some very, very tough teams in that group. And as we all know, we need to finish high up in that group to then go through and go further in the competition. So it is a big summer. Now, that brings me on nicely to talk about Heung-Min Son. We've seen these reports out before about Saudi clubs interested in Heung-Min Son. Will Son go off to Saudi League? I'm not so sure. Will Son leave for another club? Perhaps he will. Perhaps he feels like he needs a new challenge. Perhaps he feels like he's completed it now at Spurs. Or will he do... the thing that I'm hoping that he does in staying around at Spurs and... captain Spurs yet again to another trophy. Let's win another trophy next season. And the feeling of winning is so great. And you can tell from Heung-Min Son's facial expressions, you can tell from the interviews, he is absolutely over the moon. He is relieved that he has won a trophy at Spurs. That is all he's ever wanted. Me being a fan, all I ever wanted to see is Heung-Min Son going down that high road, and of course all of the other players, but Sonny in particular, because when a player, and a person gives up 10 years of their life at one organisation, one football club, it's so important to be successful. And I would have been absolutely gutted. I was gutted to see Harry Kane leave Spurs without winning a trophy. And, it would have been criminal had Harry Kane and Heung-Min Son ended their Spurs careers without winning a trophy. So I'm so glad that Heung-Min Son has actually done it. And, the delight on his face and the delight on all of our faces as well to see Sonny lift a trophy. But it'd be an interesting situation with Heung-Min Son because, yes, he hasn't been at the level that we are used to this season. But I do feel, and I'm not being too sentimental here, although I am very sentimental about Heung-Min Son. It's natural to feel like that as well. But I do feel like he has still got so much more in the tank to offer this Tottenham Hotspur team. Whether it's in the starting 11 or whether it's off the bench, we can see certainly what an impact that he can make in certain games. But in the Champions League next year, and I'll keep saying this throughout the summer on all of these daily videos, that it's so important to have a really, really good squad. It's important to have good up-and-coming players. It's really important to have the experienced players, the players that have been there, done it, got the T-shirt. And Son is certainly one of those players now. And, I feel like we need people like him, not only on the pitch, but in the dressing room, guiding these young players to success as well. So personally for me, Son is one of my favourite all-time players. I can't really choose, actually. Jurgen Klinsmann, a lot of you who listen and watch this this channel on a daily basis, you will know that I've raved about Jurgen Klinsmann over the years, but Son is, you know, equal with Klinsmann for me. You know, them two are my all-time favourite players. You know, Son is such a lovely guy, such a lovely person, a terrific footballer. We know that he can, you know, provide that killer pass. We know that he can provide that assist. We know that he can bang one in the top corner. We've seen it time and time again. And like I said, I feel like he has got so much more to give. So I don't want him to leave. I would understand if he wanted to leave, and I'd wish him all of the very best. Would I feel sad? Absolutely. If a decent offer came in from the Saudi Pro League, I feel like the football club have a very difficult decision to make in terms of, you know, if a good offer come in and they felt like they could then buy multiple players from the sale of Heung-Min Son, you know, I feel like it's going to be a sad day. Whatever happens, I feel like it's going to be a sad day when Son leaves Tottenham Hotspur, whether it's through signing for another club, whether it's going off to the Saudi League, whether it's retiring, whatever it is, it's going to be a sad day when Heung-Min Son leaves, because a true legend of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Now, Udogie's comments about the Super Cup. Let's bring another trophy home. Absolutely, you know, indeed, I completely agree with that. Really looking forward to that. It's of course being played in Udinese, where Udogie, of course, spent time. He knows that stadium extremely well. But yeah, PSG or Inter Milan in the final of the Super Cup. Really looking forward to that game. And imagine, just imagine, 2025 Spurs win the Europa League and then they go and beat the Champions League finalists, you know, the Champions League winners, PSG or Inter Milan. That would be incredible. Spurs win 2 trophies in 2025. You know, that would certainly shut a few people up. And Vicario's interview was actually really interesting. The post-match interview, he said, like, you know, Spursy, we've got to stop all of this. You know, Spurs, you know, the Spursy tag and all of that, we've got to stop it all. You know, Spurs have put a European trophy in the cabinet, and you know, look at other, you know, teams in London. They can't get anywhere near a European final. So yeah, it's been good. Romero on being at Tottenham, saying he's happy and Spurs make him feel like an important player. I'm going to give my best until the last day there. As I said on a previous episode as well, and as Ange Postecoglou, and I completely agree with what Postecoglou said, you know, if we want to move forward as a football club and want to win trophies year after year and, you know, be playing in the biggest games and, you know, achieving success on a regular basis, you need players like Romero. And as Ange rightly said, you know, if someone like him leaves, who are you bringing in? How much money do you need to spend to replace someone like Romero? It's going to be a lot of money. Reports again linking Spurs to Tomori of AC Milan. We have seen these reports in previous windows. It's going to be interesting to see what positions where Spurs do target this summer. But as I've said, in the Champions League, and if we want to improve our position in the Premier League, we need to strengthen throughout. And that isn't me sitting on the fence. That is me saying that Spurs need to have a big summer. We need to go and, you know, target top players, experienced players. And also Andrew said this as well about experienced players, because I feel like we do have enough youngsters. We have a really good development team. We have a lot of youngsters that we've brought in who are just going to grow and grow and grow and get better and better and better. And this brings me on nicely to talk about Lucas Bergvall, because he sent a message out to the fans, you know, thanking everybody. And, you know, in his last paragraph of his message, finishing my first season with 3 awards, which were given to him by the supporters clubs, all 3 awards he won. And of course, he then talks about the Europa League trophy. He says, I feel very grateful. Well, it was very well deserved. You know, a player coming into the Premier League, his first season, you know, originally they thought that he was going to go out on loan to get experience. But Bergvall, every single time we have seen him, he has got better and better and better. And I'm so excited about seeing him develop into a top class player, a world-class player in a couple of years, in my opinion, if he carries on playing the way that he does, because he's got it all. Such a great young talent. And this is what I'm saying about recruitment. You know, when you think about recruitment, you could talk about other clubs. Manchester United are one that I'll pick out at the top of my head. You know, they've spent so much money. Their recruitment has been really poor. Now, recruitment like this for someone like Lucas Bergvall has been absolutely top-notch, but this does need to continue at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club for us to be successful year after year. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do that follow button and leave a review if you can. Have a great week and come on you Spurs.